What is up, everybody? It is your boy. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Shameless plug. If you're new here, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. I do these college football videos and live streams year round. Tune in tonight, 7 p.m. Have a good ACC show planned for tonight. Anyway, you guys know I don't really follow recruiting very closely on most years. Well, for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is it's a huge waste of time. And verbal commits are verbal commits. Until they actually sign and enroll, I don't count my chickens before they hatch, for lack of a better term. But anyway, I am paying close attention, in particular this offseason, to the 2023 recruiting class for one main reason. Well, the departure of Brent Venables and the departure of Tony Elliott, the offensive and defensive coordinator. Well, in Elliott's case, he was the co-offensive coordinator, but whatever. For several years running now. I mean, Clemson's staff over the past 10 years has been one of the most cohesive units in all of college football. And when you're playing at a high level like Clemson has been in that time frame, there's a lot of turnover. Just ask Alabama, ask Georgia, ask anybody. Okay, so it's the first time in a while that we're unfamiliar with the current situation. And so there was a lot of speculation. Of course, most people, including myself, that are Clemson fans, not too worried. We trust the people that are in place. But a couple of guys, Brandon Streeter and Wes Goodwin, who have never been coordinators before, it's their first time. Now, what I've been telling people who have been telling me that, because Brent Venables and Tony Elliott are gone, that the recruiting is going to drop off, I'm going, recruiting has a lot to do with the coordinators, don't get me wrong. But Clemson has in place a recruiting department that's not going to change no matter who the coordinator is. As long as Dabo Swinney's the head coach, that's all that really matters in this situation. The reason Dabo Swinney got the job to begin with had a lot to do with his recruiting ability. Even as a wide receiver coach, he was the best recruiter on the football team. That's Dabo Swinney's forte. And he's turned that into a monster. Look, they're not recruiting on the level of Georgia or Alabama or even Ohio State. If you look at Dabo Swinney's tenure there, he averages somewhere around 11 or 10 or 11 or something. He's not breaking down the doors, but look what he's been able to do with it. But anyway, I'm rambling now. I've been paying close attention to the 2023 class, and so far, things are looking up. I mean, just as short as a couple of weeks ago, people were starting to question what Clemson's recruiting class was going to look like in 2023. Well, of course, they had their high school camp or whatever last week, and threw out a lot of offers last week, and a lot of those verbal commitments are starting to come in. Right now, I believe they got 6 verbal commits, 5 4-stars, and 1 3-star, and a couple of other guys who are crystal balled to commit verbally very soon, a couple of other 4-stars. So far, we have 4-star Chris Vizina, a quarterback recruit out of Birmingham, Alabama. 4-star Nathaniel Joseph, wide receiver out of Miami, Florida. And a lot of these, you'll notice, these aren't South Carolina, North Carolina guys. It spreads out throughout the country. 4-star Ian Reed, offensive lineman, Austin, Texas. 4-star David Ojigebe. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Edge rusher, Washington, D.C. 4-star Avion Terrell, brother of famous A.J. Terrell, cornerback out of Atlanta, Georgia. Brandon Strozier, 3-star out of Alpharetta, Georgia, another cornerback. And the newest crystal ball that's being reported by On3 Recruits, which there's a bunch of different recruiting websites you can look at. On3, as far as I can tell, and again, I'm not an expert on this matter, but they seem to be pretty accurate in their predictions for the most part. And that's what it is, a prediction. But Vic Burley, defensive lineman. So, and he's a 4-star as well. So the recruiting is heating up for the Tigers. I believe right now they are somewhere around 7th or 8th nationally, but that's, of course, we're sitting here in June Still a long way to go. And look, a lot of things can happen, right? The recruiting isn't over until it's over. But we're getting a little bit of a foreshadow, I believe, into what this recruiting class is going to shape up to look like. As far as the needs that they need outside of what they're getting now, like I said, 1 quarterback, 1 wide receiver, 1 offensive lineman so far, an edge rusher, and 2 cornerbacks. That's what they're at right now. Definitely need to hit the running back hard. Honestly, don't even know who they're going after or who they've offered this at running back, if they have offered anybody at all. But that's clearly something that they need to address for the future. Right now, at running back, Clemson's loaded, 3-headed monster. This is the best running back core as a group I think that Dabo Swinney's ever had as head coach. Now, you've had a couple of superstar running backs, but as a whole, these 3 guys I think are 3 of the best guys in all of football as a group, as a team. But those guys are going to be moving on in the next year or two, and you need somebody to fill that shoe. So we need running back recruits pretty bad, I believe. And again, the normal thing: linebacker, offensive line. I would say out of all the position groups, that's where we need to focus right now the most, and into 23 and 24. That's just my opinion, but I'm sure some of you, like hardcore recruiting people, might disagree with that, which is fine. Anyway, so things looking good so far for the Tigers, and things. I think this answers at least some questions about the doubts of Wes Goodwin and Brandon Streeter in the recruiting department, and the rest of the staff, not just the coordinators, and of course Dabo Swinney himself. Clemson's recruiting is not going to be taking a dip anytime soon. That's what I'm trying to say, and it took me 7 minutes and 5 seconds to say it. See you tonight at 7 o'clock. Your boy checking out.